World War II was not only fought with weapons, it was fought with money. Silver moved quietly across oceans, keeping empires alive while battles raged far away. In 1942, a British ship slipped out of Bombay, bound for England. The SS City of Cairo carried passengers, supplies, and something far more important. Deep below its decks lay 100 tons of silver coins packed for a nation at war. It was not treasure, not legend, just currency meant to fund survival. The sea was calm. The route felt routine. No alarms, no warnings. No one believed this cargo would ever matter. No one imagined it would be remembered. But somewhere ahead, beneath a quiet horizon, the war was already waiting. The night came without warning. No storm, no chase, just darkness over open water. On 6 November 1942, in the South Atlantic, a single torpedo cut through the calm. Steel tore open. Fire flashed once. Then the ship began to die. Passengers woke to chaos. Orders dissolved into smoke. The SS City of Cairo listed heavily, sinking faster than anyone expected. Lifeboats scraped free. Men jumped into black water. Silver stayed where it was, deep, silent, unmoving. As the ship slipped beneath the surface, something strange happened. The German U-boat surfaced beside the wreck. Its captain looked at the survivors drifting in the dark. Then he spoke only once. "Good night. Sorry for sinking you." Minutes later, the ocean closed. The ship was gone, and 100 tons of silver disappeared into the deep. In 1942, the loss was recorded as a number, 200,000 pounds. Important, but forgettable in wartime. Decades passed. Silver prices climbed. History added weight no ledger could predict. What sank as currency returned as treasure. 100 tons of silver, now worth more than $50 million. The ocean hadn't changed the metal. Time changed its value. What was once replaceable had quietly become priceless. For decades, the city of Cairo was not searched for. It was dismissed. Too deep, too far, too expensive. Then technology caught up with ambition. History was rebuilt from fragments, ship logs, wartime reports, scattered coordinates. Ocean currents were modeled, errors were removed, guesswork disappeared. The search moved away from romance and into mathematics. Sonar replaced hope. Robotics replaced divers. At more than 5,000 meters below the surface, nothing should have been found, but patterns began to appear. Not silver, not coins, cannons, heavy iron shapes scattered in a way only a sinking warship could leave behind. The wreck was real, but discovery did not feel like victory, because finding the city of Cairo was the easy part. The city of Cairo was found far beyond human reach. Not deep, extreme. More than 5,000 meters below the surface, pressure became absolute. Steel bent, light disappeared, cold erased movement. At that depth, no diver could survive. Even machines were not meant to last long. The wreck itself had changed. Wood weakened, iron softened. Centuries had turned the ship fragile. Inside it, 100 tons of silver rested inside something that could not be touched. Force would destroy it. Speed would scatter it. One mistake could erase everything. Recovery was no longer about reaching the wreck. It was about restraint. Because the deeper they looked, the clearer the truth became. Finding the city of Cairo was simple. Bringing anything back would test the limits of human technology. Recovery did not begin with lifting. It began with patience, Every move was rehearsed, simulated, measured again. At 5,000 meters, there would be no second chances. Custom sonar mapped the wreck inch by inch, turning darkness into data. ROVs descended slowly, their lights revealing only fragments at a time. The hull was unstable. Sediment had settled for decades. One wrong touch could collapse entire sections. Robotic arms hovered without contact, learning the wreck before engaging it. Engineers watched pressure readings, joint limits, cable tension. Progress was counted in centimeters, not meters. Each scan redefined the plan. Each hour increased the stakes. This was not salvage by force. It was negotiation with the abyss. The silver remained untouched, hidden inside a structure that could not be trusted. To reach it, they would first have to make the wreck safe. And at that depth, safety was an idea, not a guarantee. The first lift did not happen quickly. It happened carefully. Robotic arms closed, not to grab, to test. Sediment shifted. The wreck held. Pressure climbed. Cables tightened. Nothing moved for several seconds. Then, slowly, something separated from the seabed. Not treasure, not silver, a single object, heavy, corroded, real. It rose centimeters at a time. Every sensor watched, every limit approached. If this failed, everything stopped. The surface felt impossibly far away. 5 kilometers of water waited above. Minutes passed, then hours. The object reached clear water. The method worked. Only then did the truth settle in. If iron could be lifted, silver could follow. And if silver followed, the ocean would begin to lose what it had guarded for 70 years. But the real risk had only just begun. Success changed the pace, but not the pressure. The method was proven. Now it had to be repeated, again and again. Each descent went deeper into the wreck. Each lift came closer to the silver. Sediment cleared, shapes appeared, not scattered, stacked. Coins held together by weight and time, untouched since the war. Every container meant millions. Every mistake could erase them. Cables strained longer. Machines stayed down for hours. Above the surface, nothing moved. No headlines, no questions. Below, the ocean began to give way. The first silver left the wreck slowly, measured, sealed, controlled. No cheers, no celebration, only confirmation. The recovery was no longer possible, it was happening. And the deeper they went, the more valuable the silence became. The work did not stop. It disappeared. Days turned into months. months into years. The same movements, the same descent, again and again. Containers rose in silence, sealed, counted, logged. Above the surface, nothing changed. No announcements, no questions. Below, the wreck grew lighter. Weather delayed dives. Costs kept rising. Silence became protection. By the time the final container left the seabed, the world still knew nothing. The silver was already moving. Ports were crossed, vaults were closed. When the story finally surfaced, the recovery was over. Nothing remained to argue over. Only the realization that the most valuable part of the operation was never the silver. It was the silence. The world learned the truth years later, in 2015, not during the search, not during the recovery, after. The announcement was brief. The language was careful. The silver had been recovered, legally, completely. By the time questions formed, the metal was already gone, melted, sold. Accounts settled. There were no courtrooms, no protests, no battles, nothing left to claim. What should have caused outrage passed almost quietly because the recovery was finished before anyone knew it had begun. The ocean had released its secret, and the world had missed the moment. Most deep-sea recoveries end the same way, in courtrooms, in arguments, in years of frozen treasure locked behind legal walls. This one didn't. There were no lawsuits, no flags planted on the wreck, no ownership battles stretching across decades. The silver was found, removed, processed, and gone. Nothing was left waiting for permission. Nothing was left for anyone to fight over, because this was never treated as a discovery. There was no moment of wonder, no announcement of triumph. It was planned, controlled, executed, cleanly, quietly. And that raises the only question that matters now. Was this brilliance or something else entirely? Nothing about this recovery was illegal. Every step was permitted, documented, approved, and yet almost no one knew it was happening. So the questions remain. Who decided this should stay silent? How many signatures were required to make $50 million disappear without a headline? How many people were aware before the first machine ever touched the wreck? And how many recoveries follow this same pattern? Quiet, efficient, finished before the public ever arrives. If this was a heist, it didn't break the law. It only avoided attention. Which leaves one final question. What else has already been taken without anyone noticing? The wreck is still there. 5 kilometers below the surface, unmarked, unvisited. The silver is gone, not lost, not waiting to be found, gone forever. There is no monument above it, no display behind glass, no record for the public to see. The ocean doesn't keep receipts. It never tells you what it once held, only what it still hides. So the question remains, was this the deepest recovery ever, or the deepest secret the ocean has already lost?